This is Spunky.
And Snarky.
And we say,
Welcome to the show. Hello and welcome back. If you're like me, you can't believe that February is almost over. This year just seems to be flying by again. And this week we decided to take a look back at one of our favorite specials we watched as a kid, Totally Minnie. It was an 80s special where Minnie has a school to teach people how to be as hip as her. We really love this because there's a lot of old cartoons and there's 80s music that spices things up, and it's just a fun time. Plus, there's a lot of live action with the cartoon, which is something we kind of hadn't seen before then. Anyway, let's dive in.
Totally Minnie was a TV special that aired on NBC on February 25th, 1988, and it was hosted by Suzanne Summers and starring Minnie Mouse. It was the first special to feature Minnie Mouse in the lead role.
So the show opens, and of course there's a TV announcer dude, and he's talking about all the cool celebrity guests that are going to be on. And of course, our heroine of the show, Minnie Mouse.
Which is announced by Don Pardo, who's done a ton of stuff over the years. But I know him from the Weird Al I Lost on Jeopardy video where he tells Al what he didn't win.
You did not win a copy of our home game or a rice roti. I just find it funny because except for game shows, there's not really like voiceover people anymore. And the voice was very nostalgic to me. And it made me laugh. So the show opens and we see a flower delivery lady bringing Minnie some flowers. And there's a bunch of actual people in the room and just Minnie's like animated, like sitting on a stool. So it's like, oh, it's animated, but it's real.
Yeah. And this was the year before Roger Rabbit because that's the movie that kind of like
broke that.
Yeah. I mean, other movies had done it in the past, like Mary Poppins, but like that was the one that like really broke the mold.
And so the narrator tells us about how we're gonna follow this one lonely man's desperate search for romance and acceptance and maybe even a date. So the scene changes to a boutique where you see this dorky man stumbling through and there's all these girls around. And of course, you know, when there's girls around, they have to break into song and dance. That's just what we do. At least I do. I don't know about anyone else. And they sing the song Totally Minnie.
Totally Minnie.
It's Minnie Mouse. And they're dancing around, and he's like trying to dance with them and stuff, but he just looks like an idiot.
He's played by Robert Carradine, who is from Revenge of the Nerds. He's
the main character. He's got that like horrible laugh. So he's stumbling through the boutique and he tries to flirt with the dancers, but they just end up ditching him. So he goes home and his dog is sitting in his chair and the dog has sunglasses on, like trying to be like
Spuzz McKenzie.
And he tries to get the dog to move and he won't move. He grabs for the remote and the dog swats him away because the dog's like watching some video.
Yeah, the video to Natalie Cole's Jump Stop My Heart, which they play again later in the special.
So he grabs a chair so he can sit next to the dog and pulls out his saxophone to play himself some blues. The dog is like not having it and covers his ears. And the guy, Maxwell, grabs the remote and changes the channel. Well, it just so happens that a commercial comes on and it's advertising Minnie Mouse's Center for the Totally Unhip. And it's like, shows video footage of Maxwell when he was in the boutique. It's like, do you ever feel like this? And it's like, you should, because it's you.
Yeah.
Like, totally unhip and inept. Well, you need Minnie's School for the Unhip.
It's funny, too, because at first she's like, here's all the people I've helped over the years, and they show a picture of Eddie Murphy as Buckwheat from SNL. And then they show him as, like, Beverly Hills Cop Eddie Murphy as, like, the reformed student.
Yeah.
Sorry, that skit always cracks me up.
He's like, I should call. And so the dog brings him the phone because the dog is like, you need to call. And he starts dialing and he's like, what was that number again? And the TV reminds him what the number was. And they decide to go to Minnie's school.
So Maxwell enters the center as When You Wish Upon a Star plays in the background. And then we meet the school director, played by Suzanne Summers, as she performs an introduction rap.
That we didn't need.
No. She determines that Maxwell has no rhythm and has a pocket protector, therefore he needs the intensive course. She tells him about the Minnie Mouse method and gives him a quick tour of the facility. She says that they can transform anyone into being totally hip.
By the way, the tour of the facility is like them showing like one entryway with a bunch of supposed hallways and like people running back and forth, all of Scooby-Doo.
Yes. She waves to Philip Michael Thomas, who is teaching Donald Duck about hip clothing styles in the salon. The director then tells Maxwell that their trained experts are ready to give hands-on experience. As one of their experts, Vanna White, walks by and heads for the romance department with Pluto, following behind. They get into a car and she tells him to keep his paws to himself and watch the movie. Pluto gives her a wet dog kiss on the cheek. The director says to Maxwell, with our guidelines, we can turn your dull world upside down and look into the dance studio and see Goofy and a male dancer popping and locking at a side angle.
They were dancing on the side wall.
She then takes him into the main room of the center with multiple TV screens. She has Maxwell sit in a chair and watch the screens where we see Minnie Mouse doing a Max Headroom impression, asking Maxwell if he wants to be hip, 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 you know.
Yeah, it's all creepy.
The furniture starts sliding back like in those Maxwell cassette commercials from the 80s. And he starts to freak out, and Minnie comes out from behind the screen and kicks the screen to make it stop stuttering. Maxwell is like, nobody like me gets to meet Minnie Mouse? And Minnie's like, yeah, relax. She used to be a nobody too. And she plays a cartoon clip on the screens of her passing out in the snow and Mickey bringing her in from the cold. And she says that she's a nobody. And Mickey says he's a nobody too. And it's really cute.
That was an old style cartoon.
Apparently they colorized all the cartoons for this special, so a lot of those were old black and white cartoons.
Yeah, you can kind of tell that they're really old-timey by the art. That's part of the thing I liked about the special.
Back at the center, Maxwell and Minnie are both in tears after watching the clip. And the director comes back in and says, have you been watching The Klondike Kid again? Which is the name of the cartoon they just watched. Minnie says, getting in touch with your emotion is a good start, and leaves. The director hands Maxwell a tissue and he blows his nose and says that he feels much better now, and gets up to leave but falls on his butt. The director writes down klutz on her notepad, and he says, oh, you noticed? She says that klutziness is more common than you think, and shows a montage of Minnie's friends who started out on the wrong foot.
So it's a bunch of old cartoons of, like, Donald and Pluto, like, falling off cliffs. And there was one of Goofy sleepwalking on, like, some rope. And then, like, the rope almost falls out and Mickey has to save him. So Max is laughing at all the cartoons and as he's watching it in his chair. But then he, like, falls back in his chair because he's laughing so hard. And he gets back up. The director's like, don't worry, you'll get the hang of it. If you stumble, you're a klutz. If you stumble on a downbeat, you're a dancer. And dancing is very hip. And then it goes on to another montage where there's a bunch of Disney characters falling down again, but it's to the Pointer Sisters' Neutron Dance.
And they also cut back to the director and Maxwell dancing.
At the end, Maxwell dips the director and tries to kiss her, but Minnie comes in. She's like, nasty boys are very unhip. Then we get another montage of Disney villains being dastardly to Janet Jackson's Nasty. There's a bunch of clips of Pete being nasty and trying to steal Minnie and all that stuff. And it ends with a clip of him trying to kidnap her, and she's in like a Western gear, and she pulls a gun at him, and she's like, not today.
She's like, nasty boys are very unhip.
So after the montage and a brief word from our sponsors, the director asks Maxwell how he's feeling, and he's a bit tongue-tied, and the director asks Minnie, like, okay, what should we do next? And she's like, he has to learn to express himself. So the director's like, he can't even talk. How is he supposed to express himself? And Minnie's like, well, if he can't talk, he can sing. And they're like, Maxwell, can you sing? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. And so they start singing I Got Rhythm, and Maxwell tries to dance and sing with her, but fails. Minnie just says that he's lacking confidence, and that's what he really needs. At this point, we cut to another cartoon, and it's Minnie and Mickey singing and dancing. Mickey's playing piano, and Minnie's singing. It's pretty cute. And afterward, they come back, and the director and Maxwell are applauding, and Minnie's all like, oh, thank you. The director says that was Minnie's first video, but wait until you see her current video, which is with Elton John. Minnie's all like, ooh, Elton. Now that's a guy who knows how to express himself. So we cut to a video of Elton and Minnie singing Don't Go Breaking My Heart, which is one of the most iconic things from the special. I remember this particular video a lot, and it's probably one of the only things like I really remember from the whole show. Of course, it's partially because Elton's got this pink tuxedo on with this driver's cap that's also pink. Yeah.
Which will come back in the special.
It's interesting, but it's really cute, and they're like at like a boardwalk, and there's all these people around, and you see Minnie on a surfboard that's being carried by two guys, and like just funny things throughout the video. Afterward, Maxwell asks the director, what's next? And she's like, real romance. We're going on a date. And Maxwell's like, oh, and laughs.
We come back from commercial, and they get in the car and pretend that they're on a date. Maxwell fails at putting his arm around her and staring at the moon, forgetting that they're pretending, and then rambles on about cheese until she stops him and tells him to watch another cartoon. Montage about being in love. After Maxwell asks if they can do this again tomorrow night, the director says that she's not allowed to date clients. He says, you're seeing someone else. Minnie interrupts and says that jealousy is very unhip. We get another cartoon montage about jealousy. Maxwell says that if this is romance, I'd rather go fight with my dog. The director says to give it a chance. The best part is yet to come, making up. We get a cartoon making up montage to Natalie Cole's Jumpstart My Heart again. Maxwell tells her that she's so beautiful, and that has anyone ever told her that she looks like Suzanne Summers? And then she turns to the camera and breaks the fourth wall and says she thinks he's getting the hang of it. So we come back from commercial again, and Maxwell is dressed as Elton John in the pink suit that we were just talking about. She tells him that those clothes look great on Elton, but they are so not for him. So we get a makeover montage to the best song in the special, Shoppin'.
See it, try it, grab it, buy it, shopping. It's very jazzy. And it's all about like, don't be sad, just go shopping. I can get behind this.
Yeah, get some retail therapy. Love yourself.
Where has it been all my life? It's like, just go shopping. Don't need to be depressed, just go shopping.
Max out your credit cards and go shopping.
I thought there was a part in it that said, like, you don't need no cash. And I'm like, wait a minute. What kind of shopping you doing?
5-finger discount shopping, apparently. That's another song. Steal it.
Bag it, stuff it, wear it, hightail it, steal it.
So while they're doing that shopping song, they're also giving Maxwell a makeover. So at the end of the song, he comes back to the director with his new duds on, and he's all looking all sharp and sexy now. She says, oh, he looks hot, but now he's on his own, which scares him, and he's like, I can't do it. Like, he's freaking out. She's like, you can't send me into that cool hip world because I'm not ready. And that he may dress hip, but he'll never be Don Johnson. Minnie comes in and says that he missed the point and that she should see her mentor. We see a clip of Donald Duck meeting with Walt Disney. Donald thinks he needs a new gimmick, but Walt tells him that he's trying to be everything but himself. Maxwell says he just needs to talk like Donald, and then does a Donald Duck impression, and then Minnie gasps, but Maxwell says he was just kidding. The director then hands Max his diploma and says, happy graduation, and we get another dance montage cut with the cartoons to the Pointer Sisters' I'm So Excited. The director says that he is really cool. He says he can learn to like this, and Minnie says to take it to the max, Max, and gives him a high five. They all laugh and walk off.
It's kind of funny because, like, he was all, like, into Suzanne Summers, but then he just leaves with a bunch of chicks, and she's like, bye.
And that's the end of the special. So, thoughts on the episode?
The plot was kind of meh.
It was very 80s, like MTV style.
And the whole room he's in, watching the montages and stuff, was very 80s and cool. Like, very Pee-wee Playhouse.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the movie Ruthless People, Danny DeVito and Bette Midler's house is like super 80s, and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
I mean, it's kind of superficial, I guess, but it's fun at heart. I liked watching all the old school Disney cartoons. That's probably my favorite part, especially to the Pointer Sisters music. It's kind of fun. Some were kind of cool. There was like one with two flies that were kind of like in love, but then the girl's like teasing the flame and the flame's trying to catch her. Things like that. And then the old Mickey and Minnie ones were cute as well.
Yeah.
It makes me like nostalgic for some of the older cartoons. I still really want to watch like the old Goofy cartoon where he's trying to like learn how to dance. And,
I love those.
And puts down the steps and grabs his dress form and like learns to dance. I'm really nostalgic for that.
I loved all those old Goofy cartoons, like the one where he's like learning about sports or learning how to drive. Or those ones were like the best.
They were.
Yeah, I still love this special. I mean, it has a good message, telling you to be yourself, even if you're unhip and dorky.
It's like, let's change everything, but be yourself.
Yeah, well, they're just trying to give him confidence. I don't think there was any maliciousness to it.
No.
So you ready to move on to the brain basement?
Oh, let's do it.
Alright, welcome to the Brain Basement, where today we're going to talk more about Totally Minnie and some more Disney stuff and other things. I loved this show as a kid, and we both had the Totally Minnie plush doll, which I think we got for Christmas, but each of ours were different. And mine was like pink and purple. I think yours was like teal and yellow.
I remember a Minnie doll with gold lame.
Did she love the nightlife?
She loved to boogie.
On the disco round. Oh, yeah.
She's gotta love the nightlife. I mean, you can't have a gold lame dress and not love the nightlife.
Yeah, and then we had the Totally Minnie towels.
That I remember, yeah.
I think we had like a little beauty set, like with a mirror and a brush. We totally got all that merch where the real money from the special was made. I also wanted to talk about the soundtrack, because there was a soundtrack cassette that I also had, but I think it came out before this special, so it didn't have the Shopping song, which is a disappointment.
Tragedy.
I know, because that's like the best song.
Tragedy. I feel like it would have enriched and changed our lives to have had the Shopping song.
Yeah.
And as a kid, some motivation to not be depressed, just go shopping.
But it did have the Totally Minnie song, and it had some other songs. I think there was a song called Girl Talk, I remember that. And like, I think there's like a Daisy Minnie duet that they sing together. And I think they sing Hey Mickey.
You're so funny.
Yes. I remember listening to that cassette a lot. I'm sure we drove our parents crazy, like on road trips and stuff, listening to that in the car.
My Disney cassette that I remember listening to like forever was the Oliver and Company soundtrack. I used to have a portable cassette player, and I would carry that around like all the time, playing the Oliver Company cassette. Except this recorder, you could record on the cassette. And I accidentally recorded over part of Georgette's song, and I was so upset. I guess it was before they had the little, like
tape protection or whatever.
Yeah, thing you have to take off to record over. But yes, I was devastated.
That was a good soundtrack, too. But we're going to talk more about that in the Music Spotlight. Alright, welcome to the Music Spotlight, where today's topic is our favorite Disney songs. And first up on the list is Pueblo Bryson and Regina Belle with A Whole New World.
A new fantastic point of view. All those older Disney movies from the 90s had bomb title track songs.
Yes.
This being one of them. A Whole New World was a great one when they're on their magic carpet ride.
And Aladdin's a great movie, too.
And it makes you think of Big Bang and the
Aladdin
duty-free commercial. But
That's
yeah, Aladdin was a great movie with Robin Williams, and it had really good music, and this is no exception.
All right, number 2.
You can't really talk about the best of Disney without talking about The Lion King. So, of course, we had to go with Elton John. It's a circle of life. Yeah, it moves us off. I know Can You Feel the Love Tonight was a popular one, but I didn't like that one as much
I like it.
as Circle of Life. It's okay, but Circle of Life is like...
It's like the epic song.
With the, Swahili background. It's a jam.
Number 3 is from a soundtrack we just mentioned in the last segment, and it's also one of our favorite artists from Oliver and Company. It's Billy Joel with Why Should I Worry? Why Should I Care? Okay, I loved Oliver and Company when I saw it in the theater.
It's underappreciated. It had some
Really
good stuff.
Is. And then, we were waiting for it to come out on video because we loved it, and then it never came out on video till, years later. I mean, nowadays, a movie comes out in the theater, it's out on video in 2-3 months. Back then, you had to wait a year, but Oliver and Company took forever to come out on video, and I remember, I'm like, when is this coming out? I need this in my life.
She was 10, having a crisis.
I was! And finally, it came out.
I wonder what was after it that maybe it just got overshadowed.
I don't know, because this was before the 90s boom of Disney movies.
I love Big Hero 6 a lot because I love Baymax, and that totally got overshadowed because Frozen came out, right after it, so, people don't know about it, even though it's super cute.
Which is funny because I haven't seen Frozen, but I've seen Big Hero 6.
It's funny because I didn't like Frozen that much at first, and then it really grew on me after I went to Disneyland and watched the condensed musical. All of a sudden, it really started to grow on me because it's about sisters and all that. Moving along to the next song on the list, which is one of my faves.
Me too, I love this movie.
It's Reflection by Christina Aguilera from Mulan. We ain't gonna talk about the new Mulan, we'll save it. But I loved Mulan when it came out. It was a good story about a girl being fierce, and I liked it.
I love Mulan. That's probably one of my favorite of the later Disney movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to compare to, that chunk of
Early
Little Mermaid through, Lion King, because those were, epic.
Yeah.
But I really liked this one a lot.
Me too.
I think I had the whole soundtrack. I loved the, We'll Make a Man Out of You. And Reflection was a really good one. One of Christina Aguilera's better hits.
I think it was our first hit, actually. That was before Genie in a Bottle came out.
We're going to move on to number 5 with Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson with Beauty and the Beast. It's a tale as old as time. Peabo Bryson is excellent on this. I love his timbre. Yeah, classic. I feel like Beauty and the Beast was one of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first critically acclaimed animated film. We went to a comic convention and the lady who voiced Belle and pretty much everyone was there. The Beast and some of the other characters as well. And it was kind of interesting to hear from them.
All right. And we have 2 honorable mentions this week.
My honorable mention pick was Phil Collins' You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan. You'll be in my heart. Now, I don't like the Tarzan movie all that much, but I really like this song.
I don't even think I saw that movie, truth be told.
I think I saw it once. I always want, a love story. It kind of was there and it kind of wasn't there. But it was, after the decline of the music in the Disney movies. So it wasn't as appealing. But this is a really good song.
And my honorable mention is also from the Mulan soundtrack. It's 90 Degrees and Stevie Wonder. True to your heart.
You must be true to your heart.
I love this song. They used to play this on the Disney Channel, between the shows when Mulan was coming out. But I always love this song because 90 Degrees is awesome, and then you got Stevie Wonder on it too. And it's just a good song. It's a good jam. It's got the harmonica part in it.
That's true.
And it's underappreciated. Alright, and that's it for our music spotlight. If you want to listen to these songs in full, you can check them out on our website.
Thanks for joining us on our totally rad Disney walk down memory lane. It's the end of February. More vaccines are coming out and things are going to be looking up real soon. I hope you guys stick around and we'll see you in a couple weeks for our next episode. We got some good
St.
things in
Patrick's
store. It isn't easy being green.
That's a clue for you all.
Boom.
The walrus's paw, but that's
Another story.
All right, if you want to send us an email, you can email us at spunkyandsnarkyshow@gmail.com. You can go to our website, which is spunkyandsnarkyshow.wordpress.com. You can leave us a message on our Anchor page, which is anchor.fm/spunkyandsnarkyshow. You can find us on the Facebooks, Twitters, Instagram, TikTok, and all that good stuff. And that's pretty much it.
Thanks again, and have a great weekend.
Yes, thanks.
Peace.
Bye.